So Steve, what are the requirements for the Chenoa program?
Well, there's actually very few requirements for the Chenoa program. There is one requirement that you have to have at least a 620 minimum credit score. Other than that, there's really not too many other things. If you qualify for an FHA loan, you pretty much qualify for the program. Some things you don't have to have that you do on the other programs is you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You don't have to attend any first-time home buyer classes. There's no debt to income ratio limit, so you can qualify for a higher priced home typically, as long as you qualify for FHA. And there's no family income limit, so if you make a lot of money, there's no requirement that says, oh, you don't qualify. You can make as much money as anybody and still qualify for the program.
That's awesome. And is this program offered in all 50 states?
It's offered wherever there's eligibility for FHA financing, so it would be, yes.
Awesome. And how is the forgivable second versus repayable option determined?
So, like I mentioned, that there's no limitations for how much you make. So if you make a lot of money, then you have a repayable option for that 3.5% second that's in place for the down payment assistance. So if you're under 115% of the area median income, then you qualify for that second being forgivable. And what happens is, after 3 years of on-time payments on that FHA first mortgage, after 3 years, they totally forgive that second.
Wow. Okay. And how much down payment assistance will the buyer get?
Well, in this program, they get the full 3.5%. So the first is an FHA loan, so that's 96.5% of your purchase price, which means you need 3.5% down payment to make it 100% financing. They give you the full 3.5%.
Okay. And how much money does the average buyer need to come in with out of pocket?
Well, it typically depends on the closing cost. There's a lot of factors there. How much are the property taxes? Because you've got high property taxes, you need more money. If you close earlier in the month than later in the month, you need more money. So there's a lot of factors that vary there. So this program gives money for 100% of the purchase price. But there typically is not funds available to go for closing costs above that. So either the borrower would need to come in for the money for the closing cost, or what we typically do is we ask for the seller to cover the closing costs. So a good rule of thumb is plan on around 3% of the purchase price. So if you had a $300,000 purchase price, plan on about $9,000 to cover closing costs and prepaid items and things like that.
Okay. And what type of home buyer is this program ideal for?
Well, first of all, anybody that needs a down payment or wants a down payment assistance, you don't have to need it. So if you just want to use the program, you're definitely eligible. There's no definition that you have to not have money to use this program. Ideal for someone who owns a house already that doesn't have money for a down payment, because the other programs you have to be first-time buyers typically. Those who want to qualify for more of a house than what the other programs allow, because we can go higher in the debt-to-income ratios. Someone with high family income that doesn't qualify in the other programs would be a good candidate. And someone who has lower credit scores and past credit issues, since it's FHA, it's much more forgiving for those type of people.
Great. And are there any area or property restrictions?
Not really any area restrictions. A couple restrictions. The program does not allow for manufactured homes, where some of the other programs might. It does allow for 2-unit properties like duplexes, but not for 3 and 4, so not for tri and fourplexes, and not for second homes. It has to be a primary residence that they're going to move into.
Okay, great. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.